It's time to get back into the redstone groove. What if we redesigned this roof such that it would open up dropping into it? This would allow me to skip the cumbersome process of walking inside the castle, instead dropping right down to the Starlight Resources facility from outside. We could take out these sides and put a tripwire in right here. And this way we could just kind of jump right off the spiral staircase and head on down. It'd be a nice little shortcut, I think. Oh, it's been a while since I was last here in Quintropolis. It was a much needed break though, as I'd been burned out a bit by the many long months that I spent at Stonewall, and my subsequent attempts to ease back into HQ. Admittedly, the whole process was rough, but I'm thankful to have had some time away to recoup my thoughts and devise a more thought-out plan about how to proceed with the development. There's a lot of dead weight hidden within these parts, and, you know, while much of that is contained in its history, I think there are still ways to update the base without completely removing its artifacts. Now there's a few things in particular that need to be addressed, and I think that we're going to focus on that over the next few sessions before we start moving into developing a third faction, which is kind of going to be this focus going forward. But right now, there's a bit of a redstone problem. And what is this redstone problem? I have it everywhere. That's the problem. There's no longer a dedicated redstone unit. No longer dedicated storage. No organization. And look at that, it works. So now if you see if we just come on over, we can just hop right on in and saves us a lot of time going down. Now let's talk about the redstone problem. Ideally, I want to make another layer for this sugarcane farm. In other words, I want to add 3 more layers to the other side. However, how do I know where all my redstone is? I don't. So, if I want to go and create this, you know, relatively adequate sized redstone project, you know, it would be helpful to have a stash of reliable resources such that I would know exactly what I would need. And immediately I am stumped because right now all of my redstone stuff is right here, just stuffed in this little chest. At least some of it, and then I have some in some other chests, and I have some sitting outside, and then some on the other side of the world. It's not organized. And I think this is as good a time as ever to address this problem with something that I would like to call the redstone room. After much deliberation, I think we're going to carve it here in the lobby. We're going to use some TNT to blow a couple holes in the wall, but I think having it here is good because, you know, location was always an issue with this because of the fact that I'm trying to figure out the best spot to place a single room. You know, it's one room. It's not the entire, you know, network or something like that. It's just one room. And so placing it here at the entrance of the SRF, I think is good because we come here a lot. I mean, this is like the main hub of headquarters now. So I think having it as close to the entrances, both of them, as possible would be helpful. In addition, it would give another sort of pathway between the two sides of the hub. And you can see here that as we break out into the resources division, we kind of have this new shortcut. Well, maybe not a shortcut, but it's another way to get through. You can see here where the two paths intertwine. Hey, this is also a slime chunk. Alright, so this is what it's going to look like. Alright, let's take a walk in. I've done my best to label the chests creatively. And we're going to sort of go through the line here. We've got levers and buttons here, pressure plates, basic redstone components on this corner, comparators, repeaters, and I don't know what this is, some type of observer block? Then we've got over here other mechanisms like droppers, hoppers, dispensers, pistons, both sticky and regular, and then all this rail stuff going on over here. Over in this corner we have materials to create or craft redstone parts. And then in this final corner, things that could be redstone oriented but are not specific to redstone. Except for maybe the lamps and iron doors. Stuff like chests, jukeboxes, slime blocks, and the like. Overall, I think that it took a little bit of time to come up with a design, but I quite like the way that it looks. It's kind of like its own little puzzle, which, by the way, it is. You can see the symmetry is off a little bit here, but I'm not too worried about that for now. I do have some ideas of how to fix that a little later. So this observer block. Huh. You know, there's a lot of these throughout HQ. So there's a reason that I never finished this wall in session 212. It's because I knew that today we'd be tearing it down. Alright, take a look here. I've designed it the exact same way, except now you can see how it works here a little bit more. It's an automated system here. Now it provides twice the production, which is going to be really helpful in coming projects because we're going to be using a lot of paper. So that's why I wanted to increase the productivity of this farm at an exponential rate. This is the essentials room. It's basically the equivalent of random chests being stored all throughout the base. Now we have them here. It saves me a lot of time if I'm putting things in that I know I'm going to need a lot, or just random stuff lying around. Let's say I'm working on a project and I need to temporarily stop. I'll put the items in one of these chests. So it's really just a way to have all my essentials, or my items and tools, building blocks, or whatever that I need and use frequently. I can have it all here. And that's it for this project.